our special presentation today. My name is理恵, and our presentation today will be focusing on removing the line between the two Koreas and to bring reunification on the peninsula. So by a show of hands, can I see how many people in this group knows about the situation between North and South Korea? Okay, yes, like I thought, it's the majority of the people in this room. But I'm sure that the knowledge and information that we know about the situation varies for each individual. So first off, I'd like to introduce where the DMZ is located, which is right here on the 38th parallel. The size is 4 kilometers by 250 kilometers, and in the middle is a military demarcation line running all the way across the peninsula, dividing Korea into two. So why is removing this line at the 38th parallel important? First, we need to understand the situation of how the DMZ was created. Who knows what divided Korea? It was the ideologies. And this conflict of ideologies was the Korean War. The Korean War was a war between North Korea and South Korea. And the North represents communism, and the South represents a free democratic nation. Communism is a thought centered on humankind and materialism, not on the unchanging God. And the fighting between the two ended on July 27, 1953, when the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed. But no peace treaty was ever signed, which means that the two Koreas are actually still at war. America and North Korea did sign a treaty, but not with South Korea. So this means that North Korea actually has the possibility to invade South Korea. The key here, then, is America. And thus, Korea became the final endpoint of the confrontation between two ideologies, Godism and atheism. The things that happened worldwide in the years after the division of North and South Korea shows how the 38th parallel really was the final frontline battle between democracy and communism. Christians' values declined, and communist powers quickly influenced the world. And as it stands now, it's not just the communist countries that are in danger, but also the democratic countries, quickly losing to this power and causing problems. So according to the research companies Gallup Korea, Statistics Korea, and the Pew Research Center, young Koreans are now leaving their churches. It says, in 2021, 60% of Koreans 19 years or older had no religious beliefs. This is up from 46% of people expressing no religious beliefs in 2010. And not just in Korea, but in America as well. 3 out of every 5 young Christians, approximately 59%, disconnect either permanently or for an extended period of time from church life after the age of 15. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this is because historically, Christianity has advocated that God serves as society's moral compass, that God was the baseline. But now, as we progressively grow away from God, we see a rise in relativism centered on people, meaning I can do what I want to do based on my standard of what is right and wrong. We become a culture that propagates hedonism and self-centered ideals. So even if there are challenges or conflicts in the world, we think it's okay because I'm happy doing what I want to do. So that is fundamentally the ideology of communism. So we can ask ourselves, do I want this kind of ideology promoting this kind of self-centered individualism, or do I want one that can direct me towards altruism and really live for the sake of God and for others? We also see other problems in the world because of these communistic influences. So how does religious beliefs apply to the economic and political situation of a country? According to the Pew Research Center, once again, after surveying people from 26 different countries, actively religious adults were more likely that they vote in the national elections compared to those that were unaffiliated or inactive. And this correlation was particularly found to be true in Christian majority nations, which includes right here, the United States, and also South Korea. So what this trend can indicate is that those who are religiously active are more likely to engage in activities that serve the interests of their community and or their nation, with one of these activities being voting. Therefore, it may be likely that as the trend in religious activity decreases, the tendency to be involved or even pay attention to the matters that concerns the economic and political situation for a country may decrease as well. So let's see, does this trend apply as well to young adults? So what you see over here is the South Korean youth survey results for the necessity of unification in 2018 and 2022 by the Institution for Peace and Unification Studies by Seoul National University. So what do we see over here? We see this difference in colors, right? So to explain, the red colors show how many people see the necessity for unification. And in comparison, the blue shows how many people do not see the necessity for Korean unification. And we see a big difference, right? So what happened between 2018 to 2022? In 2018, still 54.1% of the youth saw the necessity for reunification. But by 2022, it has reduced all the way down to 27.6%. And on the other hand, the people that said that it wasn't necessary increased from 17.7% to 39.7%, almost doubling its number. So even among South Koreans, this issue is falling down to the side. And this is why our mission as CARP, and for us having this symposium today, is to spread awareness for the unification of North and South Korea. The inspiration for our mission is Reverend Sung-yeon Moon and Dr. Hak-jahan Moon, who has worked their whole life to spread hope for realizing the unity of Korea. And seeing and experiencing the situation of Korea themselves, Reverend and Mrs. Moon felt the pain as their own. And they decided to take action by going to North Korea themselves. Risking their own life, they addressed the very concern of the creation of these godless societies. And they brought hope for the reunification of North and South Korea. The question comes to, what if we don't take this initiative? Then what future will we be led to? The future of our society rests upon the youth, like many of us sitting here today. But if our society remains divided by ideological conflicts, by communism, then we risk going into an era marked by war and suffering. However, fostering unity and peace, particularly through the efforts in Korea, will help us to create a more promising and harmonious world. And we really want to understand the investments and efforts of our elders and their pain and suffering, so that we as young people can inherit and take on what they have started to make a change in this world. So now is the time. Next generation can stand up and make a change. And we really need to educate ourselves as the next generation on the importance of why we need to reunify North and South Korea. And many of us, I'm sure a lot of us here right now may be wondering, what can we do? What can we meaningfully do to help support North and South Korea unity? Geopolitically, realistically, not much, maybe. I don't think there's any Korean politicians in the room here today, but I really think we can do enough.
To compliment mention for everybody in the audience that you have a packet, some papers in front of you that will have this translated script to everything that we are sharing today. So